this thing working? I think it's working. Let's get the Instagram going. Okay. Well. And there we go. Hey. Oh. Oops. Looks like it. Yeah, it looks like we're good to go here. Alrighty. Yeah, sorry everybody. I was a little late today. A little late. Try to forgive me. Is the Instagram working? It looks like it's not. Let's try that again. Come on, Graham. Come on, Insta. There we go. Now, where is my video here? Yes, live. Excellent connection. So, yeah, okay. Ha! Yes. It's all working. Okay, everybody. Well, no one's watching yet, but someone might be watching later. All right, there's always that possibility. So we've got an English Q&A here, ESL Q&A, questions and answers. Okay. So if you got any English questions, I'll give you some English answers. So until we do get some questions, I'll just go over some of my notes or some of my material from my previous videos. How's that sound? Let's see here. Nobody on the gram yet. Is that what people call it? Is that cool? The gram? Hopefully. Always wanted to be cool. All right. It's looking good. Yeah, we're looking good to go. We're golden. I'm always less than confident about whether or not I'm actually doing this all correctly. Looks like we're good though. Okay. So last week we went over a few different grammar points. People were asking about formal language. We went over a little bit of vocabulary. Oh, look, here's someone on Instagram. Hey, Yash. Thanks for coming. Let me know if you have any ESL questions. Okay? And just so you know, you can also watch on YouTube if you want to see what I'm drawing or typing. Because I will be drawing and typing stuff. Or drawing, writing, typing, whatever. So, Yash, got any English questions? If not, I'm just going to get into a little bit of review material from our videos. But as soon as you do have a question, you can ask. All right, so let's just type it because my typing is much more beautiful than my writing because my writing is not very good. So last time we went over the adjective and sometimes verb determined. This time we're going to go over independent. So it's an adjective. We'll give you guys a little bit of time to try and guess what it means. Try and tell me what that means. What is it? Independent. What does that mean? Oh, here we go. Someone else. Hafsa. Thanks for joining. We got our English Q&A this week. So, you can ask me some questions and I'll give you some answers. If anybody has any questions, let's test the YouTube chat here. Let's see if it's working in OBS. Yeah, great. That works. Oh, we lost them. They left immediately. So, independent. Okay, looks like no one's going to answer. That's fine. So, independent basically means like not being controlled by others in what you do, think, or say. All right, so like kind of not being controlled. Very important. Thinking or acting for yourself. All right, thinking or acting for yourself. Okay, or just generally being free. Right. Sometimes we can call that autonomous. So there's a lot of different contexts where we might use independent. All right, so kind of like personal characteristics, political context, financial, research. There's a lot of different ways or use cases for independent. Aslana. Hey, thanks for coming. It's an English ESL Q&A. So if you've got some ESL questions, let me know. Here's our friend Remy joining. Looks like Aslana wants to join the video on Instagram. Cool. All right, let's try it out. Yeah, come on in. Hey, Remy. Thanks for coming. Wave at you there. See if we can get Aslana on the video. Doesn't look like they're joining yet. Let's see if there's anybody in the YouTube stream right now. Oh, here's Aslana.
Hello. I'm good. How about you?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Got any ESL questions?
Yes, actually, I don't have the question, but I want that I appreciate your effort. Sometimes I see that you open them online. That's why I want to appreciate. I'm very thankful for it. You try to help the people in English. I think in English, sometimes it should be hard. The pronunciation.
Sometimes, right? Yeah, no. I feel like English is always hard, right?
Always.
Yeah.
Actually, it's always hard, but we can handle it with the practice, with the time. And I want to say that some people who are new in English, you need just the time. Try to use your time to improve your English exactly with the listening. I think I want to talk about it this way. Listening is the most important way in English. Reading, writing, they can be useful, but it's the best, I think, the listening. Because, in your country, how do people learn their language? With the listening,
Right.
Born in family, children, they started to listen from their mothers, and they started to speak automatically. That's why I think it's the best way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, listening is super important. I think that like listening is being one of the passive skills. I think reading is also really important. Like good speaking typically starts with good listening. All right, and good writing typically starts with good reading. All right, so I'm a big fan of both of those two things for sure. Yeah. Thanks, thanks for the love, Aslan. Appreciate that. I do try really hard to, help as much as I can. Thanks for coming in. I got to get you out of here for now, right? But if you want to come back in and ask a question, great. So thank you for coming, and I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for calling in. How do I get you off of here? Oh, there we go. All right, later, Aslan. Thank you. Excellent. Yeah, so Aslan was just talking about, he thinks that listening is very, very important. He thinks that's one of the most important skills for like a new English learner. I agree. Yeah, definitely. Good listening is, we call that a foundational. Right? It's a foundational skill. You can start listening or trying to do listening right away. Absolutely. And, Aslan kind of brought up the point that that's how you learn your native language. You're listening first. You're listening to things. You're absorbing the information. Absolutely, that's true. Absolutely. I think reading is also really good, though, especially to get a greater variety of. Oh, look, Rimsey wants to join. Okay, yeah, let's let Rimsey in here. Come on in, Rimsey. Yeah, the reading is also very important because you can just get a lot of other exposure to new vocabulary, new grammar, new structures. Very good. Let's see if Rimsey's gonna come in. Rimsey, you coming? I don't know. Ali's joined us on Insta. Thanks for coming, Ali. If you got any ESL questions, you just let me know. All right, type them to me. By the way, everyone on Instagram, you can also join and watch on YouTube. I think that the audio quality and the video quality is a little better on YouTube. Just just an option if you want. You don't have to. You can find me on YouTube under the same exact username or handle or whatever you want to call it. Need Help English. No spaces, all caps. Okay, here we go. Ali just says, hi, I just wanted to watch your live. Okay, cool. Yeah, come. Welcome. Welcome in. Someone on YouTube is asking a question. They said, what's the difference between idle and lazy, eternal and perpetual? Interesting. Let's talk about the difference between idle and lazy first. All right, so I'm going to get into my whiteboard here. We were talking a little bit about independent, but we'll come back to that later. We can delete that for now. Don't need you. Bye, independent. So we've got idle versus lazy. All right. So they're both used as an adjective. Idle, lazy. So idle, this is more of a temporary state. Lazy is more of a personality quality. Right? So something that's idle is just for now. All right? So like, let's type this. All right, a temporary state of inactivity. All right, inactivity. Let's get an example, right? Like when you are at a red light, your car is idle. All right, temporarily not moving. All right. I haven't known them. Aslan says he didn't know that. Thanks for explaining the difference. Okay, sure. And we've got some use cases that we're using here. If any of you guys on Insta want to try your own sentence examples or your own examples for idle versus lazy, please do. Leah and Parishan have joined. Thanks for coming, y'all. Okay, yeah. If you got any ESL questions, let me know. Okay, so we're going over idle versus lazy right now. So idle is a temporary state of inactivity, right? When you are at a red light, your car is idle. All right. I like to spend my Sundays idle. All right. Parishan, do you have any questions? Yeah, sure. If you've got any questions, let me know. Deliant. Interesting. Cool name. Deliant. I like that. Sounds nice. If you have any ESL questions, let me know. Parishan has no questions, he says. Okay, sure. Yeah, very good. Let's see here. So, again, going over like idle versus lazy. I like to spend my Sundays idle. All right, this is underlined with red because it should be capitalized. So if I like to do nothing or like do less stuff on Sunday, does that make me lazy? Well, not necessarily. You just like say, I want to be idle on Sunday. Okay, sure. More like I like to spend my Sundays idle if I can, right? Like we'll say it like that. Yusef, thanks for coming. If you got any ESL questions, you just let me know. Okay, Yusef? Leah says, tell about the types of sentences. Okay, let me put that up here. Types of sentences. So we're going to keep going over idle versus lazy and perpetual versus, what was that other one? Perpetual versus eternal. And then we'll talk about different types of sentences. Okay, Leah? So good question. Thank you very much. Do me a favor if you can maybe try to refine that, because I'm not sure if you mean like statements versus questions or like different types of complex sentence structures. If you can refine that question a little bit, that would be good. That'll help me give you a little better answer. So just let me know what do you mean by that? You can refine that a little. So idle. I like to spend my Sundays idle. Your car is idle when it's at a red light. Lazy, right? Like let's look at some sentence examples for that, right? So lazy, a personality quality. Let's put that at size 24 font. Anyone on Instagram, if you want to see what I'm typing or writing, you just watch the stream on YouTube. We're streaming on YouTube same time, right now. All right, it's happening now. Need help English, all lowercase, no spaces. So lazy, a personality quality of someone who does not work hard or does not work often or is often idle. All right, they're very often idle. All right. Okay, yeah, so Leah wants to hear about simple, compound, and complex sentences. Okay, let me type that up here. Let me write it up here. Simple, compound, complex. Good. Very good. That is a nice question, Leah. Very nice question. We'll get to that in just a moment. Okay. Let me type to someone on YouTube here. Okay, there we go. Now, back to our whiteboard. So lazy, this is someone who doesn't work hard, doesn't work often, or they're often idle. Let's see here. My friend is lazy. He never does any of the housework he's supposed to do. All right, or one of my coworkers is lazy. They never do their part of the project. All right. I was supposed to go to the bank yesterday, but I was being lazy. I'll just go next week, right? So sometimes, hey, Kaki, thanks for coming. Kaki. Salaflick says, sorry, can you teach about how to use kick it off in sentences? To kick something off. Sure. Yeah, definitely we can do that. Kick off. Kick it off. Yeah, we can go over that. No problem. Yeah. Give me a few minutes. So we're still going over idle versus lazy a little bit. How about you guys in the Instagram? See if you can use idle or lazy. You try it out. Okay. Try to give me a sentence if you can. Looks like someone new joined on YouTube. Hey, thanks for coming. Yeah, we're doing an ESL live stream, so if you've got any questions, you just let me know. Okay. Anyone wants to try out their own sentence using idle or lazy? That would be great. Really good opportunity to try something new. Okay. Now, secondarily, they also asked about eternal versus perpetual. That's a pretty interesting question. let's think about this a little bit. Eternal versus perpetual. They have very similar meanings. Let's delete what we have in our whiteboard right now. Hey, sorry, I don't know how to read your name. Sorry, buddy. Let's delete what we've got here. Idle versus lazy. Don't need that anymore. We're going to have eternal versus perpetual. Perpetual. Yeesh, I'm not spelling that correctly. Eternal versus perpetual. Hey, how's it going? Oh, man. Ararat siten? Am I saying that correctly? That might not even be your real name. I mean, it's a username on Instagram, right? Is my name Need Help English? No. It's James, right? So, anyway, eternal versus perpetual. So, eternal is kind of used to describe something that is lasting or existing forever, right? Without beginning or ending, right? Eternal, lasting or existing forever without beginning or ending, right? So if something's eternal, it was around always. It's always been around. It's always going to be around, right? Perpetual, very similar. Perpetual means like never changing, unchanging, changing with a G, unchanging, and like kind of happening repeatedly. I don't think I spelled that correctly. I definitely didn't. Repeatedly or continually, right? So eternal, this is usually describing a thing or like a god or a system of some kind. As to where perpetual is usually describing a process that self-perpetuates, but maybe not actually forever, right? So eternal and perpetual, kind of tricky, okay? So eternal is usually used in more of a religious context or philosophical context. As to where perpetual is usually more mundane or like human context. Like more normal stuff, right? So eternal is like not a normal sort of thing, all right? So let's look at some like examples, some sentence examples perhaps. Many religions talk about eternal life after death, right? Like that's a common theme in a lot of different religions. Eternal life, or most concepts of gods or God are quote unquote eternal beings, right? Some kind of being that was around before the beginning and will be around after the end, and is just always existing, right? But perpetual, this is bringing it back down to earth. Like this is normal stuff, all right? Let me think. Wind-up clocks are wound to provide perpetual motion, right, of the clock mechanism, right? You have to wind it up for it to keep moving, right? It's perpetual. It has to be perpetually wound up, or has to be wound up regularly to keep the motion perpetual without ending. Let me think. What's another good example for perpetual? Yeah, like, how about this? Like, in the modern world, there are perpetual flights happening all the time, right? Anytime, day or night, there are some planes in the air. Someone is flying somewhere, right? When did these perpetual flights start, I wonder? All right, like, it's an interesting question. We've had the technology or the ability of flight, for, I guess, 100-something years now, maybe 110 years now. Long time, right? Long time. But, like, when it started, there was only, like, one flight that day, right? The very first flight, right? Maybe a few years later, maybe there were a few flights a day. And then, like, a few years later, decades later, maybe there's 100 flights a day or a few hundred flights a day. At what point in time, I wonder, did it start where someone somewhere was flying all the time? Perpetual flight, right? I wonder. Maybe it was kind of like mid-century. I guess that would start with commercial flights, right? Yeah, commercial flying. Maybe it's Zozo. Anyway, thanks for coming. If you have any ESL questions, let me know. Okay? You just let me know. Ask your questions. So that's eternal versus perpetual. Kind of a tricky distinction. Okay? We've got some follow-up questions from the YouTube person here. They've got, what are they saying here? Boom. Let me get back on YouTube. Is perpetual used for plant? I guess you could use perpetual for plants, yes. Like having some perpetual tree in your garden, perhaps? Yeah. Eternal love? Yeah, sure, you could swear, quote-unquote, eternal love for someone. Yeah, absolutely, you could do that. Yes, that works. Eternal love is kind of like that, like a classic phrasing. Yeah. But yeah, so if you're swearing eternal love, you're like, oh, I'll love you forever until the end of time. You're actually kind of already implying that you also, like, loved them forever before time, right? Hey, Marcos, thanks for coming. We're doing our ESL live stream. By the way, anyone that wants to, you can watch on YouTube. It's better quality, and you can see what I'm writing and typing. All right, now let's get back to some of these other questions here. We had some other questions too. Let's delete eternal versus perpetual. If anyone wants to try out their own sentences using eternal or perpetual, I'm very happy to see that. That includes anyone watching the recordings later. Of course, you can still type your own sentences, type a comment. I'll reply. Happy to see it. Okay? Okay, so someone was asking about the types of sentences. Simple versus compound versus complex. All right, so this is a pretty broad topic. We can cover it, but I might not be able to get into a lot of detail or enough detail. So a simple sentence first, right? Let's see here. Simple. So a simple sentence basically just needs a subject and a predicate, or like a verb, right? Subject plus predicate, like verb. All right, and it just kind of has to express a complete thought. complete thought. Let's look at some examples. I teach. Right? Very short. Very short. Right? I, subject, teach, verb, boom. Right? Hey, Sky Lover. Hey, Saturn. Thanks for coming. We're going over a question someone asked right now. Someone asked me about the types of sentences, simple, compound, and complex. What's the differences between them? I'm just going over that right now on YouTube. All right, so you can see me, see what I'm drawing. If you join on YouTube, you can find us same username, Need Help English, no caps, no spaces. So simple sentences have a subject and a predicate, typically a verb, and they express some kind of complete thought, right? Let me think. I teach, she learns, you run, right? These simple sentences are usually some kind of very basic statement of fact, often. Okay, I teach, she learns, you run. All right. A compound sentence is when we're kind of combining or connecting two independent clauses, right? So these simple sentences are independent clauses, right? They stand alone. They're their own independent piece of grammar. When we connect them together, we have to use a coordinator, right, or a coordinating conjunction, some people call that. So plus coordinator equals compound, right? So I teach, she learns. I teach, comma, and she learns. Right, so here we've got our two independent clauses, these two simple sentence structures, connected. How do I change the color of this, actually? Oh, here we go. Connected with our coordinator and. I teach, she learns. I teach and she learns. We can get a even longer, we can compound some more and kind of create more of a complex structure, but let's, can we like move this or something, I guess? Yeah, here we go, look at that, let's move this over. Nice, I can, yes, okay, good. So let's add another one, right? I teach, oh shit. I teach, yeah. I teach and she learns while you run. Right, so now I'm using a relative pronoun. Right, so now I'm making a more complex structure, right? So technically, this is still compound, right? Because all of these are independent clauses, right? They could all be independently sentences by themselves. A quote-unquote complex structure is typically going to be an independent clause, something that can be a standalone sentence, plus a dependent clause, right? Something that does not stand by itself. Well, yeah, let's see here. Let me open up that. Well, actually, while you run, this can be a dependent. Yeah, this can be a dependent because this is introducing a relative clause, all right? So this is a complex structure. But let's look at a more simple complex structure, a more straightforward or basic one. Let me think here. How about because it's cold? All right. Skylover says hi. Hey, Skylover. How's it going? Do you got any ESL questions? Just let me know. Okay. So let's see if anyone on YouTube. Any new people on YouTube over here? Not really. It's fine. Skylover says, I really like you. Great. I like you too, Skylover. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I like it even better when people come and watch the live stream, right? Whew. It's so bad when like no one watches the live stream because then I don't have anything to talk about. Right? So we're going over simple, compound, complex. So here's a dependent clause because it's cold. Right? This is not enough information. It's not a complete thought. It can't stand by itself. But I put on my jacket. This is independent. All right? That can stand by itself. That's a complete thought. I put on my jacket because it's cold. Now we've got a complex. All right, we got our independent clause, our dependent clause, dependent. So independent plus dependent equals complex. Okay. So a lot of people get confused by the difference between like compound versus complex sentences. They are very similar, right? But like compound sentences basically just means you're combining multiple independent clauses, and complex sentences you're combining independent and dependent clauses. But you can do a mix of both, right? You can combine independent, dependent, and multiple independent and dependent clauses together, right? You can make a compound complex, right? So you can have a compound complex. That's multiple independent clauses with at least one dependent clause. All right, so simple have just one independent. Compound have two independent or more. Complex have one independent and at least one dependent. And compound complex kind of combines it all. You can have multiple dependent and independent clauses. Okay, so compound complex is like the longer, more descriptive, interesting sentences that we do. That's a lot to go over, I know. I could probably teach like a full class just about that. I don't even know if the person who asked that question is still here. Let me see here. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think they're actually here anymore. But if you're watching later, you let me know if that helps, and try out your own examples. It would be very good for you to make some attempts at these. Now, someone else, here we go, was asking about kick off. To kick off. Okay, well, that's a phrasal verb. Here we got someone new. Pankaj. I don't know. Let me know if you have any ESL questions. Okay, we've got another 20 minutes of streaming time. So, if you got any questions, we just went over simple versus compound versus complex sentence structures. I gave some examples. If you want to see like the examples and what I'm writing or typing, go over to YouTube. Find us on YouTube. Same exact username as Instagram. Need Help English. No capital letters. No spaces. So now someone's asking about kick off. What does kick off mean? All right. It's a phrasal verb. Okay. And I guess Technically, it's a prepositional verb because off is a preposition, but prepositional verb is just a subcategory of phrasal verb. Okay. The most common. Oh, look, we got Happy Girl 7825. Thanks for coming. I appreciate that. If you've got any questions, you just let me know. Okay. ESL questions. I mean, you can ask personal questions too, but I don't think they're as productive. All right. Let's type this. Skylover says, I'm really sorry for my question, but I want to ask, do you have a girlfriend? Girlfriend's a noun, so you should say, do you have a girlfriend? Well, no, I don't have a girlfriend, but I do have a wife. All right, so I upgraded my girlfriend from girlfriend to wife. Right, so sorry to disappoint Skylover. But yes, I do kind of have a girlfriend, but it's more like a legally binding girlfriend. It's a wife. Right. Happy Girl says, hello. Hey, Happy Girl. You got any ESL questions? Skylover had a question, not quite an ESL question, but sure. Yeah. Anyway, so to kick off, there's quite a few different meanings of this depending on the context. Skylover says, sorry. You don't have to be sorry. Why are you sorry? Don't worry about that. You know, maybe you will make my wife a little jealous. I think a little jealousy in a relationship is okay. A little jealousy is okay, as long as you're not like crazy about it, right? Yeah, a little jealousy. I'll ask her. She often watches the stream, so I'll be like, hey, you jealous? Skylover's coming for you, baby. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, dang, kickoff does have a lot of meanings, come to think of it. Okay, so sports. In sports, kickoff can be a verb or an idiomatic noun, particularly in American football, right? So the quote-unquote kickoff is when one person kicks the ball to start the game or start the half. Okay. Nazan. Hey, Nazan. Thanks for coming. We're doing our ESL live stream, so if you've got any questions, let me know. And you can also watch on YouTube. I think it's better from YouTube. Noor Muhammad. Hey, thanks for coming. If you have any questions, let me know. Happy Girl says, where do you from? Well, we can fix the grammar there. It's actually, where are you from? Where are you from? Me, I'm from the United States, Texas, specifically. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm from Texas. How about you, Happy Girl? Where are you from? If you don't want to share, please don't. Norm Mohammed is from India. Cool. You know, I actually have a lot of followers from India and in India. I don't know why I'm so popular in India and Pakistan. Don't know. Maybe it's the beard. Is it the beard? Could be. Yeah, well, I guess there are just a lot of people in India and Pakistan as well, right? So, makes sense that I would have a lot of followers there because there are a lot of people there. I think India became like the most populated country, like officially recently. And they had a moon landing within the last couple of days. So, hey, anyone from India watching, congratulations. Wow, what a big deal. All right, that's a big thing. Moon landing. Whew. Oh, man, I can only imagine how complicated and difficult that is. Oh, Jeez. When the United States did that, like in the 60s, in the 60s, how did they do that? With the level of technology they had at the time, I feel like some of it was just luck that nothing went wrong, right? Like our smartphones have more computational power than the entire 1960s moon missions from the U.S. So I'm sure India, they had much better computational stuff. I know that they landed on the South Pole, and probably it was some kind of scientific or research mission. But if anyone knows more about that, yeah, let me know, because I think it's really cool and interesting. I think Russia tried to do a moon landing recently too, but I think theirs went off, like it crashed or something. Yeah, it's a kind of a new moon race happening now, right? That's good. I think that's good for us. I like it when countries compete with science and progress and technology rather than violence and war. I think scientific competition is typically a lot better for everybody, right? That's just my opinion, right? But I don't think that's very controversial. Oh, Nazan has an interesting question here. Long one. Let's see. Nazan says, I want to ask you that why is this so that someone is good or average at writing but cannot communicate in English language fluently? What are the reasons? What can we do to become fluent? And when you say fluent, you mean with speaking, I believe. So you're saying, like, I'm okay at writing, but I'm not so good at speaking. Well, maybe I'm just stating the obvious here, right? But really think about this. Writing and speaking are different skills. And you know what? There are English native speakers who are great at speaking and terrible at writing. There are English native speakers who are great at writing and they're really bad at speaking. That happens to native speakers too. It really depends. What do you practice? How do you practice? How often do you practice it? What kind of situations do you put yourself in to use these skills? Right? So I think writing is easier to practice by yourself. Right? Speaking is easier to practice if you have a group or if you work in an English-speaking environment, or maybe there's like an English-speaking club. There's apps like Chat Roulette and Omegle. You just gotta practice the speaking. Happy girls agreeing with me. It comes down to practice. Okay, so that's the reason, is because they are different skills. You want to feel like, oh yeah, if I can write, I should be able to speak. They're both production skills. They're both using the same language, but writing style and speaking style is very different. When you're writing, you can think ahead of what you're going to write. It's coming out slower, so you can take your time. When you're speaking, it's happening boom, 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 right? It's like the difference between reading and listening. Yeah, they're the same language, but again, totally different skills, right? Completely different. So it's very easy to be good at one but bad at the other, or good at one but much better at the other, or not very good at one but much better at the other, or whatever. All right. So I would strongly suggest and strongly encourage you to try to find some other ways to get some more speaking practice. In the next couple of weeks, probably like in 2 weeks or so, my company, Need Help English, we're launching a new service, a subscription service for cheap group lessons. So the first package that we're launching is $5 a month, and you can pick 2 different classes per month to join for an hour, right? That'll be a great way to get some speaking practice. You can come in and talk to me, go through examples, do things, classroom activities. That'll be a really good way to get more speaking practice in. $5 a month on that one. Later on, we'll be launching other packages for more classes and some private or smaller group lessons and stuff like that. But yeah, we're launching that service pretty soon. Okay. Other than that, Busu, the app, you can get some speaking practice on there. I think you can get speaking practice on Duolingo. I think that they can get you connected with other people who want to speak English. Those other like online chat websites I told you about, those ones I have to caution you though. I have to give you some caution on this one because like you can run into some real weirdos on those online chat websites or whatever, right? It's good to practice your English. You can practice your English. That's great. But you can run into some freaks, right? So be careful. Right? Be careful with that. Okay. Now, back to kickoff, right? So in sports, Nazan says, oh, thanks. So the answer is by practicing, we can be fluent in the language. Yeah, sure. Practice. But you want to get good practice, right? Speaking by yourself or just practicing speaking out loud is okay, but it's always going to be better to try to talk to someone, right? So not just speaking practice, more like conversation practice. All right, you know what I mean? Conversation practice is very, very important, okay? That's actually another service I'd really like to offer eventually on my website, maybe like some smaller groups. We would like have a weekly homework assignment, read this article, listen to a podcast, and then we can all come together and talk about it, right? Just some conversation practice. Oh, Los Colores. Hey, you don't join the stream very often, do you? Or maybe you do. Hey, Helen. Is that my Helen? I think so. I can't see the picture because I waved and now the little wavy hand is in the way. I think so. Yeah, Helen Grace. Yeah, Helen's one of my old students from business group class. She's great. Hey, Helen. I'm going to be in Mexico in a couple of weeks. I'll be in Cancun to get some dental work done. I'm going. It's for the dentist. I would invite you to come hang out, but I don't think it would be worth your while because I'm just going to be going to the dentist and being tortured. But I'll be there for like 5 days. So, yeah, I'll be getting tortured by the dentist for 5 or 6 days. I am really not looking forward to this, but it's important. Can you share the link here for subscription, any kind of package? Can I? Well, it's not. We haven't launched the service yet. We're like that close. But the link will be on our page. Yeah, it'll be there. Yeah, if you just you'll see the information about it if you go to www.needhelpenglish.com. Yeah, just go there. You'll see the information about it. I think we've got most of the systems set up and ready, so you might even be able to sign up for it already, I think. We're having our final pre-launch meeting next week, but I think that'll be a great service for you if you want to get more speaking and listening practice. Yeah, check out the website. We're launching it very soon, the new service, okay? So I've had a lot of people asking me about it. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a good service. I tried my very, very hardest to get like a nice low price that people can afford. I don't want people to have to suffer just to get English lessons. Right? I don't like that. My one-on-one lesson price is much too high for a lot of people. Unfortunately, I live in the United States, so I have to charge a certain amount because living here is expensive. But now with the larger groups, I can charge a lot less. I really want to deliver more value to people. I really, really want that very badly because I feel like a lot of English learning and a lot of English lessons are overpriced. People can't afford that. I've seen people charging $50 or even $100 an hour before. That's crazy. Right? Very few people can actually afford that. It's not fair. Obvio soyadi. Hey, thanks for coming. We're going over we were kind of going over a lot of stuff, but right now I'm trying to go over kickoff more. All right, so let's make sure no one else is messaging on YouTube. Looks like, nope, no other messages on YouTube. Okay, that's good. Let me just check a couple of things, make sure we're looking good everywhere. Oh, look, we had 3 viewers on YouTube at one point. That's a lot higher than normal. A lot higher than normal. Okay. So in sports, in American football, the kickoff is when you start a new half of the game, or start the game, or start a half of a game. Now, in other contexts, to kick something off is just to begin or start it in general. Okay, usually with energy, right? General context, to begin, or start something, right? Usually with energy. He kicked off his speech with a joke. I like to kick off the week by going to a coffee shop. Something like that. All right. Hey, Karishma. Thanks for coming. Let me know if you have any ESL questions. Unfortunately, we only have about 3 more minutes to go. All right, we started about an hour ago. So it's almost 12:30 now. We actually start at 11:30. Okay, so be sure to come a little early if you can. It's always better. Earlier is better. Of course, we do have it recorded, so you can always just watch the recording. If you have any questions in the recording, just submit a comment and I'll get it. I'll get to you. Okay? Just because you missed the live stream doesn't mean you can't ask questions or try your own examples. Okay? I think trying your own examples is one of the best things you can do because you get to experiment with new language and then you can get some corrections and some assistance from me for free. Haha. Right? Gotta love that. It's free. A lot of my clients don't get anything for free. To begin or start something, yeah. So to kick off a speech, kick off your week, as a cause, right? The water shortages kicked off a series of riots and disturbances in the country. Disturbances in the country, right? What's else? Something that's like starting something. I don't know. The rains kicked off a flood, right? Like causing something. You can kick off something as a cause. Yeah, to kind of be removed, like forcefully or unhappily, right? I was kicked off the team because I'm not good at football, or like I was kicked off the crew because of my bad attitude or something like that. So yeah, kick off, actually very interesting prepositional verb, because it has a lot of different uses in a lot of different contexts, and it can change. Yeah, it can change depending on the context. Shoot, guys, I mean, that's it. That's it for today. Yeah, that's all we got. That's all the time we've got. Someday, once I actually, maybe once I'm experiencing some kind of success or making some money, then I'll do a longer stream. Okay? I know people want more streams. People want longer streams. It'll be better if it's longer. All right. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Okay? Again, don't forget where we've got it posted on YouTube. If you come to the YouTube and watch it on YouTube, you can see what I was writing. You can see my examples. You can still comment and all that good stuff. Okay? The YouTube channel is the same exact name as our Instagram. Need Help English, no caps, no spaces. Thanks everyone for coming. Thank you so much for your awesome questions. I love it. Keep it coming. We'll see you next week at the same time. And remember, if you need help with your English, you need www.needhelpenglish.com. Education, training, success. See you next time.